What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to my page. Now, in my last video I talked in extent about inflation and how inflation affects the value of currencies around the world, thereby leading to currency devaluation. Well, I just got the feeling that maybe a lot of people out there don't actually understand what inflation means. So today I'm going to be breaking down and digressing on inflation and currency devaluation. This is a very important topic because most people out there don't actually understand how inflation affects their daily living and savings. So stick around. Okay, so inflation is typically defined as an increase in the price of goods. It can also be thought of as the upward movement of prices due to too much of a country's currency being in circulation. Now, the government measure inflation through a tool that is called Consumer Price Index, or CPI. It is basically an indicator for measuring how expensive things are for the everyday person. But this indicator has gone through multiple changes over the years that has made it kind of worthless for historical comparison of what inflation used to be in the past compared to this current age. And it is believed that these changes have been made to make everyday inflation look much less than what it is. Now, one thing I would like to note is that in the beginning, the stated goal of central banks around the world was that the value of the money in your bank account was to decrease by typically around 2% on a yearly basis. But so far, due to the changes that have been made, we can assume that this value has increased over time, which is why most people now switch to investments. So it is possible that even in some countries, their currency devaluation might be up to 5% or even higher on a yearly basis. Now let's talk about assets price inflation. Assets in relation to the stock market, the real estate market, the cryptocurrency market, and so on. Now, a look at the historical data of these assets would show you that most of the money that has been printed, like in the financial crisis of 2008 or the epidemic crisis of 2020, has been invested into assets. And the current look at the charts of these assets would also show you that the process of money printing isn't actually slowing down or reducing, but increasing. Now, it is not a matter of whether you want to play the game or not. The fact is that investing is the safest way to ensure that the value of your money remains intact or increases. Now, while investments have the risk of loss, choosing not to invest is more dangerous because it has a 100% chance of you losing the value of your money. So in conclusion, guys, the only way to win against a money printer that is set to continue printing forever is to buy, invest, and hold valuable assets that are finite, have real world value, and are set to absorb the money that will continue being printed over time. In fact, if you ask me, it is smart to be on the side of the house that will actually gain from the money that is being printed, because while some people might be losing due to lack of knowledge, some people are actually gaining a lot from the money that is being printed. Now, it doesn't have to be crypto. You could invest in real estate, stocks, businesses, farmlands, certain commodities, or digital assets that have real economic value. Just don't keep holding your money in fiat or maybe in bonds, because bonds are just claims to fiat money. Because although this information about central bank and currency devaluation might be new to the general public, it isn't news to the institutions and wealthy individuals that control majority of the world's assets. In fact, their being aware of this information is why they control most of the money, and partly why asset prices are continually increasing and getting higher across the board. Now, one of the biggest benefits about the digital assets market is that it is one of the industries that are increasing significantly higher than even the Federal's balance sheets, and it is still very early. Very few people in the world out there know and understand what the cryptocurrency space is all about, so it is still not as inflated as other asset markets are, which is why I am trying to share my knowledge of the cryptocurrency space with as much people in the world out there so that they can understand that cryptocurrencies can actually be a way of creating success and building generational wealth. All you have to do is first learn as much as you can about the space before choosing to invest, and when you do invest, be smart about it, because if not, you might end up losing money and be on the other side of people that are claiming that cryptocurrency is a scam, which it is not, because as we see today, most of the governments around the world are starting to adopt and invest in cryptocurrency, and that is because they see the potential to make more money there. So it is up to you to choose the path that you want to be on. Do you want to be on the winning side or the losing side? Anyways, that is all for today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment whatever you feel you do not understand about my explanation so far. Share this video to whoever you feel might find this information helpful. Follow or subscribe to my page, and until the next one, guys.